Hey guys, how's it going? I got my 50 years back. We're almost there to spring fishing rods, and it's in only March. So, well, hi, I'm back again. So remember, what we're going to do is we're going to have a little session here. We made it for the off night, which is pretty cool. And not only that, we have our host and MC, Mr. Mark Sweetman, to talk to you. Come on up, Mark.
Hey, here I am. I'm going to bring you back out here. I'm the technical guy too. So
the high tech. That's right.
I got to bring down the music, then I'll bring it back on here. So let me do this real quick. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. I did it. How about that? All right, now let's get Andy back out here. Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
All right.
Good. I got my rods coming on my head. You know.
Yeah. What is that? Is that fishing equipment?
Yeah, it's all fishing equipment up there.
Oh yeah. You know what? I didn't see the cardboard box. Now everything makes sense.
My highly specialized storage facility.
I thought you had actually made some artwork out of fishing poles, and it was like a sculpture display or something.
It could be unofficial artwork. Rod 34. That could be the name of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm back in the condo. And look at the view here, because this camera, I'm using the iPad again. It gets a better sound picture quality, but this is such a wide angle. It looks like
you look like you're in a Hitchcock film.
Doesn't it? I look like I'm squeezed into this little box. The for the curtains on the left of me and behind me, those are door walls. Those lead to the outside, and it's just glass, a whole wall of glass. And of course, they weigh a ton, and it's hard to slide open. We go to the store rather than there, but we could.
Are you in a rolling chair?
Yes. Well, yeah.
It's
swivels.
Okay, so we can do a Hitchcock shot right now.
Oh, good.
Put your face right close up, and then we'll do the sound effects. And when I go, woo, go all the way back. Woo. I don't think you're right, Freddie. It's like, Freddie, he's done it, Freddie. This is a David Lynch film now. Okay, all right. Big head, small head. There we go.
Speaking of
all right, we're going to save your comedy stuff for after Susan's poem, but what's going on with you for non-comedy stuff?
Oh, just working on the play gig with the lady from Qatar, and we're trying to get that thing going. So,
all right, for people new to the show, Andy is the valet, the American valet for a woman from Qatar. Is it Qatar? Qatar.
It's pronounced Qatar, but it's spelled with a Q. I don't know.
Qatar, Mr. Qatar.
Exactly. Qatar. Ooh, Qatar.
Spelled Qatar.
Anyway, this woman has an amazing story, and she's written about it, and you're helping her turn it into a play.
Yes.
And Andy is a playwright, and every once in a while we lose him for a few weeks because he's directing plays. And so that's.
And he works at the North Pole.
And he works at the North Pole. Yes, he has a gig at the North Pole at the end of the year, and
yes. Yes.
So in fact, he shaved his beard the day after Christmas, and look, it's already back out. So
I know it's just growing. I'm just like Tim Allen, it just grows right
That's
away.
right. You just can't help it. It just keeps growing. Anyway, so you
Don't go anywhere.
You have a couple of comedy business stories, and we're going to talk to. I was hoping we'd have another special guest, and I don't see that person signed in, so we'll just do our regular Gab Fest here. But I'm going to turn it over to Susan because she's got our weekly poem.
I have a poem.
Go for it.
All right, you ready? How do I look in this wide angle? Wow.
Yeah, you look great. We got the tiny head. Big head.
My kid worked for Disney.
Yeah, you know
sweatshirt.
what? I know what he's talking about. Your hips look wide because they're closer to the camera. Than so bring your head closer so that looks bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here's your
poem.
poem.
You got the Veronica Lake hair. That looks great.
Oh, nice.
I enjoy a good film. The theater is fun. But should I really care who lost and who won? The Oscar awards were not a surprise. Oppenheimer sweep, if you care, please advise. Illegal human is not a thing. That's absurd. State of the Union critique Biden's use of the word. Undocumented immigrant is politically correct, but murder was the point. Cut him slack. What the heck? Trump's daughter-in-law, named RNC co-chair, she's losing donations, but still has good hair. Princess Kate of the Royals is taking some flack. Family photo with her kids, editing skills does lack. Take a look at the hands. They don't all line up. If I start to care, put some rum in my cup.
Very
And
nice.
that's your poem.
All right. Thank you very much, Susan.
Ripped from
Very
the
cool.
headlines.
All right. I want to talk about a few of these things. So let's get our regulars out here. He's from New York City. I've known Sam for over 35 years. Got a lot of credits. We can bring him up, but usually what he's done usually comes up in the course of the show is he's telling us his stories. He's got great showbiz stories. He's got great family stories. He's got great country political stories. He knows everybody. Here he is. Please welcome back to our show. Here he is, Sam Greenfield.
So I'm blowing Steve Lawrence. And
May he rest in peace.
may he rest in peace.
All right, let's get Jason out here. Here's one of our, we were just talking before we went live here today. This next guy is a newer comic, but an older comic. So he started late, but he's coming on strong. Here he is, one of our favorites, Jason Grant.
I'm getting pegged by Edie Gourmet.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, Jason.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you this. I've been thinking about this for a while with you.
Yeah.
When you start is when you start. Okay. Don't obsess about, I'm this age. When you start is when you start. You're not in dementia. Your mind is sharp. Okay. You're funny. The rest of it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I'm just telling
Thank
you
you.
that it does not matter.
Okay.
Unlike me, it's over. But you, no, really, don't fret about that.
Well,
I've never had anybody, card you because you're getting on stage. So don't worry about it, really.
Well,
I
like
gotta-
any good comedian, I have the demons in my head that are doing their best to, make me go home and start a 12 gauge because, I stubbed my toe or
Oh,
or
but
did
that's
some-
not why you want to do that. Tell the truth.
Well, it's true. But
Now
I know.
it wasn't brought up in the poem, but I want to bring it up because Sam did, and that is Steve Lawrence passed away.
Yep.
And every time I hear about Steve Lawrence or Edie Gourmet, I think about Eric Tunney's great bit about them. And I don't know if do you remember it, Andy?
No, go ahead.
I don't think Sam knows. I'm just going to tell you what I can't do it word for word what he did, but he talks about going to these. He loves the music of your life radio stations. He goes, but it's not the music of my life; it's the music of somebody else's life. And he goes, if you ever go to one of the shows these radio station sponsors, you always get some great acts. He goes, my favorite is a married team named Steve and Edie. Just take that in. Steve and Edie. You paid money to see Steve and Edie. Now Eric's a lot younger, right? So he's not in the Steve and Edie, so he wouldn't know who they were. So and of course he learned who they were from researching this bit. But he says Steve and Edie, and I look at he doesn't look so bad, but I look at this Edie and I'm wondering what kind of hell is happening under that moo-moo. And he said Steve spends the whole show going, I love this gal. Isn't this gal great? I mean, she's a great gal. He goes, he's really overemphasizing how great this is in sort of a I may have cheated on her kind of way. Got it. It's such a
I'm sorry.
I might, his the anniversary of his death is coming up at the end of the month. I may pull out that bit and play it for us. Eric Tunney.
What was the name of the guy who his wife killed him and then herself? Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when he played Sinatra?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
Yes.
he plays Sinatra, and Mike Myers.
Mike Myers plays
Steve Lawrence,
Steve
and I
Lawrence.
don't remember who's playing Edie Gourmet.
It was the Edie Gourmet was played by that Victoria
Jackson.
Fred Jackson.
Yeah.
And so they go like this. It's thanks, Frank, for having us on. Shut up. If it wasn't for me, you'd be playing the TikTok Lounge in Passaic. And here's the thing. There is a TikTok Lounge in Passaic.
Oh.
There's actually a TikTok. Oh, what was the other thing? Oh, and Dana Carvey plays Paul McCartney.
Yes.
And he goes, "Oh, look at this. Frank seems to be a little ring-a-ding-a-dario." Yeah, well, lay off the funny stuff, Ringo. Oh,
Oh
God.
God.
By the
Phil
way,
Phil
under the
Hartman.
category of brilliant,
Phil Hartman was
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, the rebuttal. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. First of all, I
And-
didn't know it was her. Barbara had to tell me who it was. She looks so
Fantastic.
much like her.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And that to have her down the street. Hey, can you call up your wife? I mean, she looks like a senator. Get her
Honey,
up
do you
here.
have any free time? The kids are asleep, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
None of
that's
this
Colin
good.
Jost. That's Colin Jost's wife. For those of you that didn't know.
Or as we call him, Mr. Lucky.
Yes.
No kidding. Who else has done it? Well, Pete Davidson. I noticed Ariana Grande didn't come back until Pete Davidson was off the show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And for damn good reason.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not kidding.
Anyway, that was one of the great Saturday Night Live bits.
I couldn't agree more. By
Yeah.
the way, the very emotionally needy Donald Trump texting, tweeting about how bad the Oscars are. How bad
that was
the show is.
and when Jimmy Kimmel read it live, I thought that was excellent.
And I'm gonna tell you when he says, "Listen, Donald, I know you're probably nervous because it's past your jail time."
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good line. That was great.
But see, here's the thing. This is what I don't get that Trump doesn't get. Jimmy Kimmel has 14 writers, and if you know this,
he had 20. He had 21 for the Oscars.
right? But he had
Yeah,
14 working just on. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
and they write furiously. They're writing stuff as the show goes on.
Yeah.
When Jack Palance won for City Slickers,
Uh-huh.
and he did that one-handed push-up, and Bruce Valanche is writing, and they say, what was it? Jack Palance has just bungee jumped off the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
And then they did another one. With
Yeah.
you can't. You're just Donald Trump. He's got all these writers. They're gonna eviscerate you.
Yeah.
But does he know or care? First of all, does he even know that he's being eviscerated? You know what I mean?
No,
But the
I
thing
listen.
That man has zero sense of humor.
You just took the words out of my mouth. This guy, and tell me if I'm wrong. I have never seen him laugh.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't laugh.
Ever
doesn't
seen him laugh?
He doesn't think
No.
anything's funny.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. What was that joke that Dennis Miller did? I was just in Alabama. I was at the I Don't Get It Club. He really doesn't get jokes.
I know.
And what do we always say about comedians? You have to be intelligent to be funny. And he's so blazingly unintelligent. By the way, I don't know if you saw my latest TikTok, but I referred to Marjorie Taylor Greene as the human Cologuard box.
Yeah. That's very funny.
See,
tells that British reporter to fuck off. That
Yeah.
classy dame.
Yeah, and Mikey
Wow.
Day doing Biden's.
Oh,
Thanks
really
for
good.
Thanks for
Really,
dressing
really
up.
good.
Thanks for dressing up. That was great. Oh,
MTG is a special brand. And you know what, the Trump thing, I honestly think he's thinking along the lines of, as long as they're mentioning me.
I
Then
couldn't
it's a
agree
win.
more.
Mhm.
I don't care what
You-
you say about me. Just get my name right. Yeah,
Right,
I
I
could not
mean,
agree more. He doesn't
that-
care.
No, good. There's no such thing as bad publicity for him.
heart of the plan.
What was that line what was that line in As Good as It Gets when Gray Kinnear says to Jack Nicholson, "Don't you see what a talent you have? You don't care if you're humiliated. It doesn't bother you if you don't mind being humiliated." And that's Trump doesn't care.
Oh, you know what? We can pretty much stick to the script tonight because I wanted to talk about. Well, we've already talked about the Oscars, State of the Union. My wife said the undocumented immigrant thing. Got to cut Biden some slack on that because
No, we don't.
You don't think so?
Nope.
What
What do you want me to say, guys? I mean, he's an illegal alien. He shouldn't be here.
You've been calling them illegal aliens.
Yes, I have.
forever. So why don't we cut Biden slack on it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I've heard here. Let me tell you what I've heard. My understanding is that there's pressure from his side of the fence to not say illegal. Frankly, I think him. I don't care that he mispronounced her first name. The fact, I mean, that to me is trivial and not worth my time to get hung up on. He was absolutely right to say he's an illegal. Biden was correct in saying it that way.
This is one of those things that if he ignores it from this point on, it'll just die.
You know what?
Start calling him what you want to call him on document.
He should have
and then
never
it'll die
acknowledged
though.
it. He should have never said anything.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
When Obama gave his first State of the Union address and that one dipshit Republican called him a liar.
Yeah, I remember that.
Joe Wilson from.
What did that do for his career? Really? What did that do? Really? Did
Joe Wilson?
Obama?
For the congressman or the president?
Yeah, for the congressman.
I think he was out of politics in 3 years.
There you go. And Obama goes on to get what? Reelected?
But see, we're in a different era now because now you have a Marjorie Taylor Greene who comes in wearing the hi. Would you blow me for this hat?
Clown suit, a MAGA clown suit is what she's wearing. Mm-hmm. It's a State of the Union. You can be for Trump. That's great. You wear a suit. You dress professionally.
You know, Mike Johnson had asked everybody to do that
to show decorum.
Yeah, exactly.
and she couldn't do it because she doesn't know what decorum is.
Exactly. That was are you kidding me? That was perfect decorum for the trailer park that she came from. That is perfect trailer park decorum.
I don't make fun of trailer park people anymore because I called one of them trailer park trash when I was in Vegas, and one of my callers called me and said, "Sam, I'm a retired Army man and I live in a trailer park and we're really not bad people." And I felt bad. I felt bad, and I said, "Well, let me ask you a question. When you go to the grocery store, do you have to have someone read the prices for you, Clem?" And I hung up. No. No, but, and I felt bad about it. So now I just say, that, you're illegitimate offspring of a wounded knee.
Hey, all right. Now that I've got Trump bringing all the Republicans down as part of my grand plan. Thank you, Hillary. Thank you. Thank you, Bernie Sanders. He played into it very well, too. Thank you.
I think there's something going on with Mitch McConnell. There's something weird going on there, guys. There's something.
Oh, you mean with his sister-in-law dying in Texas?
His sister-in-law dying in a very suspicious car accident.
She drowned.
Yes, she did, in a Tesla that just accidentally started rolling into a retention pond. Teslas do not just roll. Andy, you've driven a Tesla. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then she was down there for a good 25, 30 minutes, and there wasn't no air pocket like for Mary Jo. This was a message.
If she had it in neutral, it would roll forward.
Andy, why are you and I blue?
I'm just sad. I'm a depressed man.
Thank you very much.
That's why I watch a lot of comedy to try and keep myself up and forward for hope.
Are you and he blue on the screen on your screen?
Yes.
Yeah,
you look fairly normal on mine, but
you look normal on mine too.
So
anyway,
there you go.
Sam, about that cooking show, when you rate the chefs, please stop saying "tastes like ass."
Yeah. Oh, something else that Susan had in her poem that I think is interesting is that Trump's daughter was made the head of
daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law was made head of the RNC.
Frightening looking woman.
And now they're cleaning house there.
Yep.
I love it. Love it.
Did you know that she's a business major?
I don't care.
But she's not.
Well, whatever. I love that she is they're cleaning out all the non-loyal people at the Republican National Committee.
Both of them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. No, that's what you do.
Is there anybody left?
Major contributors are saying we don't want to give to the RNC anymore because we don't want that money going to Trump.
Oh, by the way,
they're worried that the RNC is going to pay for his legal.
A friend of mine said that, I don't think I told you this, but Lara Trump looks like what you find in the bottom drawer of a blow-up doll at dollar store.
A dollar store blow-up doll?
Yes. When you pull the bottom drawer open, she's the last one available for sale.
But
she's not a good-looking woman.
It was Friday night. It was late. Okay, selection was limited. What do you want me to do?
98 cents. Take it or leave it.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what Trump is going to do. And when you think about that look, the Biden campaign just announced a $30 million ad buy. Whether people like those ads or not, whether they watch them or not, it doesn't matter, because if he's on the air, Donald isn't. Because every minute that you buy is a minute the competition cannot purchase, right?
Not only that, that's true, but not only that, but the RNC is having a horrendously hard time getting money. You mentioned this before, Mark, about, they're having a horrible, and I don't know if you read this, but there's a group of Republicans who are putting money, it's not the dark web, but it's dark money, and they're putting it all on Biden.
Wow.
Yeah.
They just can't. And I understand that they just can't let anybody know. I've been watching a lot of pundits talking about Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
And about how she cannot endorse anybody.
She
can or won't.
She can't.
She's
in other words, for her political future, she cannot endorse anybody.
She has no political future.
That's what I'm thinking.
She's a stalking horse.
She's not going to. She's not going to be the governor again. She's never going to be a senator. No. She doesn't want to be a representative because she'd have to sit next to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She will
go and live on K Street, and she will sell influence, and
she could do a speaking engagement. She could do stuff like that, or write a book. But she's never going to be. I agree with Jason. She's out of politics.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Back in 2008, when it was clear that Obama was going to win the nomination, do you remember Rush Limbaugh with this Operation Chaos, when he was encouraging Republicans to go out there because McCain was going to be our nominee, go out, change our affiliation, and vote for Hillary in order to create as much confusion at the convention as possible. Now, of course, it didn't work, right? I mean, because you had professionals like David Axelrod running Obama's campaign.
People who knew what they were doing.
Axelrod is you talk about Himmler. He is his he makes Himmler look like a fun, cuddly dude. I mean, but the thing is, when you have David Axelrod, you become president of the United States. It's really that simple.
Well, that's like Carville and Stephanopoulos with Clinton.
Yeah. Well, what about Karl Rove? Karl Rove with George Bush, and who was the guy that?
If you remember the TV show The Loudest Voice in the Room, there was a line in it where what's his name, Ailes is talking to Donald Trump, and he says to him, "Listen, you got to get rid of Manafort, okay?"
Yeah.
And then you hear like, you don't hear him, but Trump is talking. He goes, I know you don't have to pay him, but because that's Trump's whole thing. How cheap can I get you? And you get what you pay for.
Yes, you do. And if Roger Ailes, for all his faults, gives you advice, you should listen. For all the faults of Mr. Ailes, the man does know what he's talking about.
Well, no, he won the election, but the thing is that
Hillary lost.
There's a group of people at Fox News, and I knew all of them from having worked there.
Yeah.
And none of them, Ailes is dead, but none of them are working now. O'Reilly is doing some pathetic podcast.
Well, that's what happens when you have 3 ways with dildos and you're pinching ass that you don't need to have your hands on.
$32 million. Fox News had to pay Lise Wheel for what they call non-consensual sex, or as we like to call it, rape.
Rape. Yeah, well, you're pretending to be Mr. Populist dude.
Yeah.
Well, did I tell you the story about Ailes and O'Reilly? After Andrea Macris came back, she quit.
Yeah.
Because O'Reilly was hassling her, or sexually harassing her, actually. And he said, "Please, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, I'm an idiot." And she comes back, and it's worse.
How does that happen?
Ego.
Oh, but look at what happened. Look what happened this weekend. Trump finally got somebody to pay the $91 million bond so he could appeal his E. Jane Carroll case.
He will.
And then, that was Friday. Friday, he got somebody to pay that money. And then Saturday, he goes out and his first stump speech, he starts slamming her again.
Guys.
Well, and you know something? She had people at that rally.
Well,
she's going to sue him again.
Yeah, I know.
And she's going to win again. She's going to win again.
It's a member of the Pritzker family.
But they're doing it on her behalf.
I believe her almost as much as you guys believe Kathleen Willey, or Jennifer Flowers or any of the other tarts that got manhandled by who knows how many Democrats.
All right.
And you know what?
All
This
right.
is the way the game
All
is
right,
played.
hold on just a second.
Time out.
Yeah.
What if I don't believe her? And what if I do believe her? What fucking difference does it make? You were at $5 million. Keep your fucking mouth shut, right?
Yeah, it was five.
What attorney is
until
going
he couldn't
to
shut up.
defend this guy? Just
He
shut
could
the
not
fuck
shut
up.
his mouth. It was
I
5
understand that.
million.
Nobody wants to
And he
bitch
couldn't
slap
shut
this
up.
guy. Nobody wants
I
to bitch slap
understand
him.
that.
And everybody around him
my
was saying,
point
stop
is-
talking about it. And
My
he
point
couldn't.
is that actually it's actually serious money. It's a member of the Pritzker family, who's a billionaire family, that is behind this lawsuit. Just like, do you remember the lawsuit that took down Gawker because they put something
He
up
has
there
to
of Hulk
keep
Hogan?
his mouth shut. It's not. It's.
I understand that, Mark. And
But the
I'm
thing,
saying
I understand
there
what
is
you're
bigger-
saying, but the thing I'm saying is the Pritzker family would have nothing to go on if he would shut up.
You're correct. I agree.
You know,
We are,
so
we are in lockstep
Sure.
agreement here. Okay.
He's
I just-
convicted.
I'm just saying that that the thing is that oh god.
and by the way, Kathleen Willey
Yeah.
is the most mysterious of, and I don't mean mysterious like ooh, you know, but she's the most mysterious to me because she went on 60 Minutes and said
Yeah.
how Clinton sexually molested
No
her.
one
and
cares
then,
anymore.
but wait, and then she sends him a letter
Yeah.
saying, "Thank you, it was so wonderful seeing
Right.
you." Well, make up your mind.
Or
Either you were
Juanita
molested
Broderick.
or he's a great guy. It can't
All
be
these
both.
women- do you remember all those women? Well, hell, okay, if we're going to go in the time machine, which is my favorite thing to go, 1992. Remember Bill
Oh,
Clinton?
all right,
coming
no,
out-
no, wait a minute. If we're gonna
Yeah,
do time
but-
machine stuff, we got to get a sound card with some sort of time machine music.
There
Or
you go. But Bill Clinton essentially disarmed all of that shit. back in
1992?
92, when he and Hillary sat there and he said, "I've caused pain in my marriage," and she sat beside him. Everyone knew what
Who,
the
Gary
deal was.
Hart?
Well,
By the
Gary
way,
Hart
speaking
was
of
an idiot.
stupid, speaking
Gary
of
Hart was an
stupid,
idiot.
Gary Hart says, "Oh, really, Miami Herald? You think I did it? Well, why don't you follow me?" And they
Follow
went,
me.
"Oh, okay."
all right,
Back
yeah,
up another year or two and talk about the pubic hair on the Coke.
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
I
What was
mean,
her
what-
name?
Anita Hill, and
Anita
there
Hill.
was
No,
another one
no.
who followed
woman
him,
with
who
Gary
followed him
Hart.
around.
Oh, the woman with Gary Hart was
Oh gosh, it wasn't Jennifer Flowers, was
No,
it?
I-
No.
No,
No, it was some sort of
Ri-
food thing.
Donna Rice, was it?
Yeah,
Donna
there we go.
Rice.
Donna
Donna
Rice.
Rice. There you
And
go.
what is she now? She get ready, kids. She
What,
is
yeah?
a committed and devout Christian
That's
Of
nothing
course
wrong
she
with that.
is.
because you know what she realized after Gary Hart, the next best thing is God.
That after swinging on that pipe, really, where else do you go?
And his
You
wife
know.
stuck with him.
Of course. What about Edwards? Vice presidential candidate Edwards.
No. Let me tell you a story about John Edwards. Okay.
Yeah.
His wife, I know she died. I know she had
Yeah.
cancer. I'm very
Yeah.
sorry about that. But she was a bitch.
She was a political wife.
horrendous. Oh my God.
Yeah.
When they were on the campaign trail, she's screaming at people for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And you can't blame everything on a tumor. I mean, I'm sorry. It looks.
Well, that's why her kid probably took
It's
himself.
Be a
not
good
that.
neighbor.
It's not that tumor.
The
No.
kid
Be a good
took himself
neighbor.
out to get away from Mama.
He's
I
not
mean,
a tumor.
By the way,
Not that
speaking
tumor.
of the Oscars, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ah,
Oh God, was that great?
What did they do on the Oscars? I didn't see it.
Well, they said, we have something in common. We were both killed by Batman.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, one was
Penguin and
Freeze,
Mr. Freeze.
and one was
Yeah.
that's right.
And then they pointed to Michael Keaton. There he is.
And they look at Michael Keaton who's in the audience, and Keaton's going like this: "Bring it, bring it." It was great.
I love when that show is informal like that. When it gets too formal.
Oh, they did a lot of that with Steven Spielberg. They go,
Yeah.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that was good too.
and the thing is, you have to find people who are secure enough to play along.
Sure.
Bob Hope used to be able to do that.
My favorite Bob Hope line in the Oscars was, "Well, hi, it's Bob Hope here at the Oscars," or as my family likes to refer to it, Passover.
Passover. Yes, exactly.
Ah!
Johnny Carson was a great
Great
host
line.
of the Oscars.
Oh, he was terrific. Billy Crystal was terrific.
Carson was good.
Yeah, and
Although there was a sad moment for me with Frank Sinatra when I don't know who told him to do this, but do you remember this? It was 1968. He was wearing a Nehru jacket
Oh dear.
with a big medallion,
Oh
Ooh.
no.
hair combed down
No.
like this.
Did
And
he
I
fire?
went,
no.
Did he
Wait,
fire
Frank.
management? Did he fire his management after that?
Frank, you're hip. Don't do. By the way, I never knew this before, but Frank Sinatra would, wherever he was performing, okay, if it wasn't in New York, okay, let's say it was Las Vegas, he had the same routine. His plane would fly him back to New York to a suite at the Waldorf Astoria. He would have steak and salad and watch The Tonight Show,
There you go.
no matter where he was in the continental United States.
Hmm.
Wow.
And I forgot, and a whore. But except for that, and a whore.
And a whole.
Is it
All right.
true
Well,
that
we've
his
almost
last
gotten to Susan's poem here. She had one more
All right.
thing, and that was about the fake photo that Princess Kate. Did you guys hear that story?
Yeah, the hand.
Oh
and-
yeah.
All right. So, what do my insiders have on Kate Middleton? Is she gravely ill and they're trying to hide it, or what's the deal on that?
She
Actually,
doesn't look ill.
It's
No.
King Chuck who's got the problem. King Chuck's. I think they've got like a metastatic cancer
Yeah.
issue with him.
Yeah.
So he's gonna go down in history as
He does?
yeah.
Yes,
He went in there and they checked.
He
his
may not make it.
prostate.
He may not make it through the year.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
Her husband?
No,
Prince?
Charles.
King Charles.
Prince Charles.
Oh,
King Charles.
Charles.
I mean,
Yeah,
think
King
about
Charles.
that. You wait, what, 60
Don't
years?
That guy.
60 years, and then you get it for like 4 months. you
Well,
know?
I
even
think the
Edward
saddest thing was when his son William came by and said, Father, is there anything I could do for you? Well, you could take your foot off the air hose. Just, you could do that.
Couldn't help but notice you're
Well,
sizing the crown.
I don't feel too bad for King Charles because it's not like he had to go out and work at a laundromat or something until
Yeah, seriously. He
until his mother died.
He wasn't Hidalgo the gardener. Yeah, let's
No.
take it easy.
Exactly. Yeah, pump the brakes on that a little bit. Come on.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, what a horrible life.
Mother did.
Who we
We lost
See what happens?
Jason
That's what
briefly.
happens when you fuck with the
lost
queen.
him. He's,
You know, they were thinking about doing Jason, Richard,
What button are you
Mulaney to
Jason,
the
what-
Oscars.
Jason, what button are you hitting? That you
Not touching a thing. I think my phone is doing that Apple thing where it's because it's like a year and a half old, so now it doesn't want to work anymore.
it wants you to upgrade. Yeah, it's
exactly.
yeah. What do they call it? Ford used to call it planned obsolescence.
Planned obsolescence.
All the car companies did planned obsolescence.
Yeah.
3 years and out.
All right, now that we've gotten to the news, I did want to talk to Andy because
Yeah.
before we went on the air, he started telling me these stories about out on the comedy circuit.
Yeah.
Now,
They're-
since we are comics, I want to get to that part of the show. So
Well, so there's two pieces here. One, I went to an open mic on Wednesday, and it's called the Joke Gym, and it's in the basement
Joke
of the
Gym?
senior-
the joke
Gym. Yeah,
That's
GYM.
it's kind of like our
GYM.
dojo. It's kind of like our dojo, right? We call
kind
ours
of,
dojo.
but it's a little weirder. I mean, it's in the basement of a vineyard church up
okay.
in Ferndale. And I parked and I went there, and the sign was like, looked like a kid did it in crayon, So I went into the basement. The basement was completely open. There were a few couches, and it was like really kind of weird dark. These people come in and they say, "Oh, come back to this place. This is where the comedy club is." They unlock a door, and they open this door up in the back. Okay, then you go in, and it's totally dark. There's like 20 seats max, 30 seats max, and
Right.
it's all in black light. So on the way there, I try and check my phone, and the phone won't work. Okay, it's completely off the web.
So because
walk
it won't work,
inside.
it won't work because you're in the basement and you can't get any bars down there.
I
Is that
can't
the-
get any bars. I can't get out. So I'm like, are we being hijacked or something? So I go in, and it looks like I really feel like I'm in a David Lynch movie because of all the black lights and stuff, and everybody's lighting up as they walk in with their white shirts. And it's supposed to be like a clean comedy club,
Okay.
and it's all there's
A what?
7 guys came in and did routines. They're all pretty much clean, but there's like a religious sort of tone underneath all the humor.
Oh no!
But it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was actually okay. But it's like one guy I think was probably a Trumpite of some sort. So he was doing a lot of Trumpite jokes.
Oh, good thing I was sitting down when you said that.
Now-
Wow.
You remember Brad Stein, Mark?
Sure do.
He's a comic, and he's a born again Christian comic
Yeah, it has been for years.
for years. And
In fact, I don't think he ever had a time when he wasn't both born again and Christian that I knew him.
there was because I knew a girl who he was dating.
Oh, okay.
And she was a waitress at Rumors in Winnipeg.
Okay.
And I was performing there, and I said, "So how's Brad?" And she goes, "We're not together anymore." And I said, "Oh, really? Why?" She goes, "Because he embraces Christ." I go, "Are you an atheist?" She says, "You're not listening. He embraces him. He hugs him. He fondles him. He's an idiot." So I said, "So are you seeing anybody?" She goes, "Well, right now you." And I went, "I'm the luckiest man in the United States." This little short pudgy
Winnipeg
is
is
about to hook up with a Shiksa.
Ah.
Oh, by the way, I did a TikTok today on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the title was Shiksa Godless.
Ah,
Oh wow!
I'll have to look at it. Oh, dear.
Anyway,
But
back to your story, Andy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Andy, please.
So anyway, by the end of the night, it was all pretty much. It was actually pretty decent. You know, they're actually okay, but it's just, I feel like they're going to lock the door on me and take us off to some sort of like,
They're going to baptize. They're going to baptize you. Take you to the baptism.
Yeah, like baptizing or traffic me or something like this. You know.
Traffic me.
So I was a little crazy. I guess one of the guys.
Wait a minute. Before
Hold on.
Before we go on there, I just have to get this out because the image that went through my mind is a bunch of customers lined up and seeing all these little teeny girls, and then
here's Andy
in the lineup. I'll take the big Santa Claus.
Exactly.
And now for a change of pace.
Exactly. Have you guys done the old hairy man before?
That's right. Ahmed, come here.
He'll have you tripping.
We found what we're looking for.
All right, you can continue. I just had to get that out because that was my image I had when you said we're going to be trafficked.
Yeah,
it was like Kathleen Turner in Romancing the Stone, but different.
Yes. Yeah. So they're asking for money.
Have you seen Kathleen Turner lately?
I actually saw her in person.
Oh, did you?
At the screening of Naiad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And she's not doing well.
It didn't
really.
She's got bad arthritis.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh,
yeah, it's not good.
Talk about.
The interview with Annette Bening was great.
We'll get to that later. Let's have Andy finish.
Yeah, back with Andy.
Okay, thanks. So the guys were trying to collect money to go to Scotland, and earlier that day, I had to pick up. I picked up a couple that were trying to get to the airport, and they didn't have any actual cash. They had just money from euros. So they're going to they're trying to get money for the Fringe. So I put my $15 in euros in a little collection bucket, But the other place I went to was this weekend. I went up to Brighton, and there was Billy Ray Bauer and Steve Hyatt.
Oh God, that's two headliners right there.
Yeah, there were two headliners. So it's a weird place. It was like at the like the American Legion or something like this.
Oh, you know what? I think I know the name of I know the room. I did that with Billy Bauer about 7 or 8 years ago. I did that room with him.
Well, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah,
it's a different Bill Bauer.
Maybe that's why.
But the Bill Bauer you knew, Sam, passed away.
No wonder I haven't heard from him.
He was from Minneapolis, and Bill Bauer, our Bill Bauer, had Ray, so he became Billy Ray Bauer because the other Bill Bauer that was out there.
Yeah.
Is that like Ollie Joe Prater?
He's he does family material. In fact, when we work together, it's kind of like you have to watch each other's set because he's going to cover topics that I cover, and I'm going to cover topics he's covered. So, but we work together a lot. We don't have any problem working together. It's just that we do. He's got like 5 kids. I've got 8. We each do. It's kind of funny. Whoever follows the other does the line about. I said, Bill had a kid, then I had a kid, then Bill had a kid, then I had a kid, then Bill had a kid, and then my wife and I adopted 3. And Bill said, "You win." And when he follows me, he does that same joke where he goes, I said you win, so.
Yeah. So the middle was Kate Brendel. And
there's another headliner. Yeah, what a great show.
It was a great show. So I thought I'd go up and see it. And it's like, now this, Jason, you got to pay attention to. This is what your future is going to be. Okay.
Oh no.
So I go into the place. It's filled with people who are like veterans families and stuff like this. Okay. Now the place where they're going to perform the comedy is up. There's a little chair there, and they have a mic and a musical mic stand. No lights.
Oh. Now this isn't the place I worked.
The lights were like they had the only lights there were basically like this hanging chandelier. That's the only lights they were going to get for the mic.
Sexy.
Yeah, about to say.
Sexy. And then so they come in. Then to open the show, they have the color guard come in. So the color guard comes in with these military guys doing military stuff, and then they go back and leave this stuff, and then they leave. So that creates a whole sense of non-comedy in the beginning,
Yeah,
and they're going through trying to get raffle tickets all the way through. So they're drunk. They got a lot of alcohol, and Bauer goes up there, kills it. Great job talking family and stuff.
Yeah.
Kate Brendel goes up, does a really good job. A little Q&A and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then instead of getting the headliner,
oh no,
the guy comes up and says, "Hey, we're gonna take a 15-minute break right now.
No.
What? Oh God.
And we're gonna tell you who won the stuff, and you can get some more alcohol before we get the headliner."
Oh no!
So
Oh no!
These people are really, really lit. And by the time Bauer gets back up there 15 to 20 minutes later, he has to start the show over again.
Yeah.
He has to, and he can't even get control of them. Okay.
Is he the MC?
He's the MC. So we can't get control of him. He gets a little bit of it, and then Steve Iatt goes up.
And
he hits him right in the heart. Just gets him going for about nice 25 minutes, gets some semblance of order. Then somebody's phone rings in the corner, and she answers it.
Oh God.
And she talks to her son for about 4 minutes. And Steve Iatt's kind of like, you think what's happening? So he starts to use all the incidents that are happening. And then this other group was basically all this group of people. They're kind of like, he got into hunting, and they were all hunters. So they kept going back and forth. So Steve Iatt used the phone talker to this, and just started ridiculing them all, just kind of in a humorous way.
he's great at that.
He was just working the audience the whole time. I think he had some preconceived notion they might bring some material, but he just play the room.
If you've seen Steve in the last, 15 or 20 years, he does all crowd work.
Yeah, that's all he did. It was crowd work.
Even if it's not a bad crowd.
Alan Havey does that.
Jimmy Brogan, Alan Havey, and this guy Steve Iatt, who's a Logan. Steve should be much bigger than he is. He should be national, but I don't know.
For a long time, right?
What's that?
I thought he was in LA for a long time. Steve
Iatt? No.
Well, if you can't be national, be Alamo.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Steve Iatt, when Sue and I met him, he was a golf pro.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a golfer.
He is a golfer. I think he still has his PGA card.
Wow.
What was
No,
that joke? What's your handicap? My swing.
My swing.
Aren't you the golf
Anyway,
hustler?
Well, those are great comedy stories.
But I had a chance to talk to Billy Ray Bauer, and they were talking about what the problem was with comics, the newer comics versus the older comics, because there's people headlining that just they got their gig by just being on online like TikTok or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, they're not funny.
And he was basically talking about what you had with the old system of MC, middle, and stuff is there was some form of training going on.
Yeah, you move.
That's right.
Yeah,
you can actually talk. You actually get an idea of what your material is like.
Scheidner did a bit once where he said, "You ever see these comics? They do a joke, and the audience doesn't laugh, and they go like this." No, that's not what it is. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that was interesting too about the whole night, there was nothing there. It was all basically family stuff. There was no.
I
didn't
can't
hear-
remember. I
I
can't
didn't hear any
remember the
swearing words.
phrase.
I didn't hear anything. It was all family oriented. So
I can't remember the phrase, but there was a club in New York, in Chelsea, where comics would go up and it was like they didn't care if they got laughs. Janine Garofalo was in this group. I can't remember the phrase.
Yeah, it was. They call those alt comics.
yeah,
Alternative comedy.
Alternative comedy, and that was
the alternative is there's no laughter.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the
Well,
alternative.
It's the funny that was started by Beth Lapidus in Los Angeles. Remember Howard Lapidus? He was the
Sure.
he was the manager out there from Toronto. He was one of the Yuck Yucks guys, and he went out there before Mark Breslin did. And his wife Beth, they're divorced now. I think they're both still around. I know she's still around.
Now that's funny.
But anyway, she started a place called the Uncabaret, and it moved on. And now when Chili and I started the Unclub, we basically ripped off the Uncabaret.
Good.
And just called it the Unclub.
Ah.
And because what she does,
Not a rip-off.
not a rip off. But anyway, what she does is
Just say
she she sits in the room with the microphone, right?
Oh man.
Watch it, right? And then when a comic, she wants comics to tell their stories. That's why it became alt comedy. And what she would do is she would see gold somewhere, and so she'd start asking questions to bring out parts of the story that weren't
In the
there.
middle of an act?
Yep, that was part of the gig.
Simon
I mean,
Cowell.
they didn't.
But
they
you knew
didn't-
this going in.
You knew this going in, and the audience knew it going in. That was
Okay.
That's how they workshop stuff. They didn't do
so
it.
they weren't springing it on you.
This wasn't Friday, Saturday night, first and second show getting a $10 cover. This was comics all coming in, and the audience paid $2 or $3, knowing it was just going to be a workshop. But she sold that as a workshop. She sold it saying, "Hey, you're going to get to see," and she had people come to. Patton Oswalt was one of the guys that did that. Who else came to that system?
Well, Patton Oswalt was part of that, and they were talking about like they would do performances in like laundromats and stuff.
Yes. Ralph.
They would just
Yes.
That was a big thing in New
Zach
York. Absolutely.
Zach Galifianakis was another one that did that.
Yeah. And that was part of the Janine Garofalo thing too.
Now,
Janine Garofalo. I was working with. I'm sorry.
Janine Garofalo was the first one that made it as an alt comic because they hired her at Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
Janine was. I was with my ex-wife, and we were going to do a gig. Not her, but we were there to do a gig in Providence, Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at a place called Periwinkle's. And I was the headliner. Was I? Yeah. And there's a reason I forget. And so, and Janine was the middle. And I'm walking in very casually because I always get there. I try to get there really early, for any gig. And the manager of the club, this woman comes running down the hallway at me. And I go, would someone get shot? What? And she goes, you have to get on stage right now, please. I go, okay, what's wrong? She goes, Janine is bombing. Listen to me, Sam. Listen, there are no people laughing. She's been on stage 20 minutes. There are no, please, God. I said, take it easy. I'll go on. Take it easy. So I go on, and there was 2 Friday shows, 2 Saturday shows. And on the final show on Saturday, Janine closed out her middle act by saying, Providence sucks. This audience sucks. Everybody here sucks, and you can kiss my black, burly, bumpy ass. Please welcome your headline. But I had, and this is no exaggeration, I had the 4 best sets of my life. And I said to someone,
so she's a good opener. She's a good opener, is what you're saying.
Well,
yeah, but then I think I said when she got off stage. And I said, well, I guess the juggler died. And then about 2 months later, she said, why did you shit on me like that? I said, Janine, you weren't having a good set. I can't pretend that you did. You can't go like, hey, how about, they're not deaf, Janine.
Well,
I'm sorry you didn't have a good set, but that's like, I was doing a gig in Boston, and the guy was just so unfunny. And the MC gets on stage and says, Bobby Delaney, let him know. And the guy goes, we did.
Yeah. That's funny.
They
So-
know
but
she's not
you,
here.
you can't
Well-
pretend that the guy killed if there's literally no laughs.
Yeah,
No,
well, I want to
you
bring up.
gotta
I want to
own
bring
it.
up a thing from Steve Martin. What Steve Martin said is that so he kills on the West Coast. He's always killing on the West Coast. Good stuff. He tries to get booked on the East Coast, and he bombs. He bombs constantly at the East Coast. Hates him, can't
Right.
stand him.
Right.
But it's like he figured out that the East Coast is not my audience.
Right.
That's the whole thing. The East Coast
Well-
is based on joke.
Well, he's a
Steve, you're right.
Californian.
Yeah.
Yes, California. And it's like, so California is story. Saying
And
that.
also Steve Martin was also really off the wall at a time when people weren't doing that kind of really sort of off the wall, non sequitur kind of comedy.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
he comes along and he's kind of doing this stuff that, it's not connected and whatnot. But like Stephen Wright was talking about how a week before he was on Carson, he had one of the Boston comedians, I forget the name, the guy never made it out of Boston, but he was huge in Boston, telling Steve that maybe this isn't for you.
Lenny Clark,
Might
Don-
have been.
Yeah,
Don,
Steve Sweeney.
Don Gavin, Steve Sweeney.
Don Gavin,
It-
Steve
It was
Sweeney,
one of
Lenny
these
Clark.
really
Lonnie Clark.
huge
Those are the three.
Boston
Those are the big
guys,
three.
and
Those are the
Oh,
three.
and
fossils.
Tony V. Tony V.
Yeah.
too never made it out of Boston.
Steve,
But see,
Steve
a
had
lot
been
of the
doing
reason that those guys don't leave Boston is
right.
because they make so much money in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a guy who turned down a Letterman gig. He said, I'm making
Yeah.
$3,000 this week. What, are you kidding me? No.
Well,
No, I'm not giving up three,
Yeah.
And I understand. And
Tom Kenny's another one. He would have never left if Bobcat Goldthwait hadn't drug him out of Boston.
Isn't he the one who voices SpongeBob?
Yes.
Yes.
That's Tom.
Okay.
He's from Boston.
and a
Yeah.
very nice guy.
He is a
And
nice
so now
guy.
he's going to be worth $1 billion forever and ever.
Well, my favorite line of his, he used to have this really insane haircut,
yeah.
right? And he goes on stage and he goes, how's everybody doing? Huh? Supercuts. What the fuck, huh?
I remember that. Yes. Yeah.
No, he was a very, very nice guy.
No, I just again, if someone is telling you, I don't know, maybe this isn't for you, but yet a week later you're on Johnny Carson, and he's inviting you over to the couch.
Yeah, that was a dream. That was
the dream. That was the dream.
Everybody thought that was going to happen when they did the Carson show. Even
Yeah.
before Stephen Wright did it, everybody thought
Right.
that's the way it was going to be.
Yeah.
I think the guy who did it before him was Eddie Prince, and I think
Yeah.
and I think before him it was David Brenner. Those are
Yeah.
the only
But
three.
after them, it was Kevin Meaney. In fact,
Yeah.
what
Oh,
happened
that's
with
right,
Kevin
Kevin
Meaney
Right.
was he did his set, and then after it was over, Carson said, "Is Kevin still here? Let's bring him out." So that was
Ooh.
like an amazing couch time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That he actually brought him back
because
out to sit on the couch.
He did. He did the break. He did the next guest. The next guest bombed because it was like either a book or a fucking lady with potato chips or something like that. But anyway, and so then he cut them short to bring Kevin back out because
Yeah.
Wow.
And by
Nice.
the way, I think I told you this story about Cosby. He had this horrible habit of bringing on young black comics who
Yeah.
just weren't funny. It wasn't they weren't funny; they just weren't ready.
Right.
They weren't ready. And
Yeah.
Cosby, Cosby is almost like a savant. He had this brilliantly successful show, and if you think about it, the rest of his career was a failure. It was. He had I Spy, and then he had the Cosby Show, and that was it.
Yeah,
The movies didn't do well.
before I Spy though, I got a little bit of a disagreement. He had 4 or 5 albums.
Oh no, the albums were sensational, but I'm saying
Yeah.
after the Cosby Show is what I mean.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, all that, everything you just said is true. But after, the rest of it, the rest of those sitcoms he did, he only got them because of his rep. He didn't get them because, Tim Allen is about to do his 3rd sitcom.
Oh, is he going to do another
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, he is. And the other 2 had huge ratings.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And this will have, and by the way, he is also an example of a guy who is a conservative. He's a conservative Republican and has no problem getting work.
Because
Yeah.
he's not an asshole.
That's right.
Yeah.
No problem getting work. And everybody knows he's a conservative. And he's not, by the way, he's not Mr. Warmth. But that
No,
doesn't
no.
You
matter.
know what? Here's the difference. Tim Allen is going to have people on that show, and he knows if he's going to work with trade union, that's what you have to in Hollywood.
That's right.
You know you're not going to be with Republicans. It's not going to be all your people. It's not going to be all your country club people. Tim came from country club.
Oh, wow.
And for him to be, Tim, did you know Tim before he made it, Andy?
I went in to visit him one time. I had talked to Tony Hayes, and I told him I have an idea for Tim Allen. I want him to. I think it'll be fine.
All right.
So he says, "Well, he's going to be at the showcase, the Ann Showcase." So I get a chance. Tony helps me meet him, and then I just freeze up. I kind of he said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah. I'm trying to get this out. Just let me get this out, okay?" So anyway,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
But
the only idea I thought was he should do something like what he did for the show.
Well, but you guys remember?
Did you tell this to anybody? I said no, I didn't. No, I just thought it'd be an idea.
What, Jason?
I just say kind of going back. You remember I've seen Paul Mooney's very first appearance on like national, and you could tell the man was nervous. And later on, Paul Mooney, a guy who I didn't always agree with, but he was a funny man. He was a funny, brilliant comedian. Franklin Ajayi, another guy, funny, brilliant man.
No one smoked more dope than Franklin Ajayi.
But boy, could he bring it though?
Oh, he was very funny.
He wrote a great
Smooth
book.
as glass.
Recommend to all starting comics. He wrote a great book, Franklin Ajayi.
And yet they wanted to give J.J. Walker all the pub, which again to me it was like it's almost minstrelsy. Sort of
what
comedy.
JJ Walker though had a hit TV show behind him,
and he had one catchphrase.
Yeah, and that changes everything though, because that one catchphrase can catapult you, and it can hold you back too.
Same thing with Larry the Cable Guy, college graduate, but you obviously never know it from his repertoire. I mean.
Yeah. Hey, Jason.
He was very smart because Larry the Cable Guy, Dan Whitney, he scheduled his gigs around NASCAR events.
Yes.
Oh, that's
he knew his audience.
Wow.
Because that was his audience.
Yeah, Andy, what's up?
Jason, I want to go back to you're talking about whether you should worry about confidence or something like this, about where you're supposed to be and stuff like that. William Shatner was on stage, and I guess he was getting an Emmy, a lifetime Emmy or something. And he was talking about, people always said I was not that good,
Yeah.
And he basically said, nobody knows anything. It's like,
well, mercifully, I still have the voice of my mother talking to me from beyond the grave, telling me that I was a mistake and that she wished she'd had an abortion.
Wow. I used to do a bit where I said, my mother said to me once, "Do you know why you have no self-confidence?" "No, why?" "Because you're nothing."
Well, boys, I think this is one of our best shows yet. We stayed on topic for pretty much everything. We got our comedy stories out. We talked about things in the news. And that's what we do here on the off night. Every Monday night at 8 o'clock. Please, if you stayed with us this long, you liked us enough that I need you to hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We're live every Monday from 8 to 9. And then this stays on the YouTube channel, where you found it probably, for the week until we do the next one. So,
and I'm very proud to say that I've just passed 4,000 followers.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that on TikTok?
Yeah.
Yep. Sam's got 4,000 on TikTok now. Yep. And Jason, you and I have to talk. In fact, you know what? We're going to talk after I do the outro here. So stay online, you guys. We'll do our regular post-production meeting, and then we'll see everybody else back here next week at 8 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. Hit like.
Or in hell.
Or in hell.
I'll see you in hell.
Yeah. God willing, as they say.
God's willing. Yes.
Yeah, all right.
I
Thanks.
have a joke, and I want to wait till we're off the air. It's not dirty or anything, but
Okay.
it's too late to tell it to the audience.
But it's not for the audience. It's for us.
Not for the audience.
It's for us.
Not for you. No.
No joke for you. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring the music up. We'll see you guys right after we wrap it up here. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right.
Da, 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 da.
3 more seconds.